I'll tell you, he's playing this event in Tampa, which he usually never plays in. It just goes to show you that Tiger wants as many tournaments as he can get. He doesn't play the week before the Masters. He can't play in the match play because it's rankings, and he couldn't play in that World Golf Championship last week because that's rankings too. Tiger's about to be 1 under for the day. He almost had a hole-in-one here on 17. And Tiger is definitely, you heard Johnny Miller on it. It was a good conversation with Johnny about it the other day. And Tiger's in the mix here because the leader is at -4, and Tiger's going to be at -1, and maybe an opportunity even on 18. I don't know this course at all in Tampa. But, I mean, Tiger is, I tell you, he's healthy. I mean, there's no messing around at the back right now. He's healthy. I mean, he's played San Diego, no issues. He made the cut. He came right back, and he played L.A. 2 weeks after that. It may have been 3 weeks. Yeah, it was 3 weeks. He played because it was Phoenix, and then it was San Francisco. But he played L.A. He did not make the cut, but he got the 2 rounds in. Then he went to, he played back-to-back. He went to Tampa. Went to Fort Lauderdale. And he played pretty well, played all 4 rounds. He couldn't play last week because, of course, he didn't qualify that World Golf Championship in Mexico City that Mickelson won. But he came back this week, and he's going to play next week in Orlando at the Bay Hill. So Tiger is, that's 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 5 tournaments before the Masters. That is going to be, if you do the rounds, 6, 10, and make the cut here, 14. That is, let's say, 18 rounds before the Masters. For a guy who didn't play in a year and a half, are 18 rounds enough to put you in a situation where you have an opportunity to go out there and win a major? That is a very interesting call. I don't know that. And I think he made a very good point, Johnny, if you missed that spot on Monday. Do we have it on, if you're a golf fan, do we have it up top? Can you find it somewhere? On demand. He did a great job with it. He said the one thing about Tiger that he's worried about, he hasn't been close on Sunday with a chance to win. And, it's one thing to play pretty competitively and, stay healthy and make cuts and play. It's another thing to win. And, Tiger hasn't even had an opportunity to win. He hasn't been in the mix yet. No, he couldn't expect it. He's played 3 or 4 rounds, 3 or 4 tournaments. But he said he'd like to see Tiger on Sunday, back 9, where every stroke, every shot is a very significant shot, and how he would respond. So we'll see if he gets that chance. He's going to have a chance this weekend, quite possibly, and then maybe a chance in Orlando, a place he's won 8 times at Bay Hill. And that's going to be it. And then he's going to play in Augusta, which, by the way, Augusta is 4 weeks from today. It's not that far off. Opening round of Augusta is 4 weeks from today at the Masters. So he's got 2 tournaments, theoretically 6 rounds before he plays in that event. We'll have to wait and see. I wanted to get that across here today. Not a good performance out of Spieth today, no big deal. For the most part, I'm not going to worry about what everybody else is doing. Tiger, on the other hand, who is playing well. Par 399 yards. He almost holed it. He's going to be 1 under, going 18. So we'll see. All right. The other thing that I wanted to get to today is that, did you see that the Padres might be the other team now for Jake Arrieta, which I thought was interesting. Anybody see that? San Diego. That they might have some interest in Arrieta. I guess you can make the argument if you went all in on Hosmer and you had a deal that you brokered with Boris, and that of course is Arrieta's agent. Why can't you also have a deal with Boris on some other pitcher? Now the problem for San Diego is they got a lot of young talent. And you wouldn't think they would be in a situation where they could add another big pitcher or another big contract at $20 million a year when they're not quite ready to win. But I don't know. Maybe they got all excited. Maybe their phone rang off the hook for tickets when Hosmer was signed. Maybe they saw an opening because, Arrieta has not been able to get a big deal somewhere else. The long-term $200 million that Scott wanted to think he was going to get. And they see an opening to maybe get Arrieta at a contract that's feasible. Maybe it's got some opt-out clauses early, which they probably can live with. Take it year by year. But I found that interesting that they might be. Everybody thought maybe the Phillies. Everybody thought maybe the Nationals. Everybody thought the Brewers, who need another pitcher. A little interesting that maybe in the end of the day, it might very well be the Padres who bring in another big free agent in the fold. So we'll see how that works itself out in the next few days. Still a million free agents haven't signed. Carlos Gonzalez hasn't signed. Mark Reynolds hasn't signed. Lance Lynn hasn't signed. Alex Cobb hasn't signed. A lot of people haven't signed yet. There's a lot of them out there. We'll see how this works itself out here in the next, whatever it might be, 2-3 weeks. You would think if you're a pitcher, and you know who the pitchers are, and Tiger tapped in for birdie on 17, -1. He's been pretty steady all day. Birdied the first hole, birdied the 8th hole, bogeyed 9 and 4. And then, of course, he's been now basically par here for the most part on his back 9. It is fascinating to see how much time pitchers would need to get ready for the season if they sign so late. And with a lot of pitchers out there, could conceivably Arrieta sign by the weekend and somehow be ready first rung through the rotation? Maybe not opening day, but be ready those first 5 days in the season? Probably not, you wouldn't think. They wouldn't rush it, but it is interesting. 21 after the hour, get your calls in.